Dr. Pattern sits in his office with the kind of presence that makes you feel seen. There is a question I get asked in therapy more than almost any other, and it is always whispered, always filled with shame, always prefaced with, "Is there something wrong with me?" The question is this: why can I orgasm with people I do not care about, but not with the person I love? If that question just made your stomach drop, if you felt that in your body, hit the like button. Subscribe to this channel, because what I am about to explain might be the most important thing you hear about intimacy and trauma. Let me tell you about Sophie. Sophie walks into my office. She sits down and immediately starts apologizing. "I am sorry, this is probably stupid. I do not even know if this is a real problem. Tell me what is going on," I say. She takes a deep breath. "I have been with my boyfriend Ryan for 8 months. I love him, like genuinely love him. He is kind, attentive, patient. He makes me feel safe, and that is the problem. I wait, let her find the words. I cannot finish with him. During sex, I mean, my body just shuts down. And the worst part, with previous partners, guys I barely knew, guys I did not even like that much, it was easy, effortless even. But with Ryan, the man I actually want to be with, nothing." She looks at me with tears in her eyes. "What is wrong with me?" "Nothing is wrong with you," I tell her. "Your body is doing exactly what it was trained to do. It is just that what it was trained to do is keeping you from the intimacy you want now." Now let me explain what is happening in Sophie's nervous system, because this is not about willpower or attraction. This is neuroscience. When Sophie is with someone she does not have an emotional connection to, her sympathetic nervous system, the part responsible for arousal and excitement, can activate freely. There is no vulnerability at stake, no fear of judgment, no possibility of emotional abandonment. Her body feels safe to let go because there is nothing to lose. But with Ryan, someone she loves, someone whose opinion matters, someone who could actually hurt her, her nervous system does something fascinating and tragic. It interprets intimacy as threat. The parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for rest and safety, activates at the same time as the sympathetic system. And when both systems are firing at once, the body cannot achieve the kind of release that orgasm requires. It is like trying to drive with one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. "Sophie, I need to ask you something. When you were growing up, what messages did you receive about sex?" She shifts uncomfortably. "My mom was very religious. Sex before marriage was a sin. Even talking about it was shameful. I remember being 12 and asking her about periods, and she looked at me like I had said something disgusting. And what about intimacy in your house? Did your parents show affection?" Sophie laughs bitterly. "My parents slept in separate rooms. I never saw them kiss, hold hands, nothing. My mom used to say that sex was something women had to endure for their husbands, that good girls did not enjoy it." There it is, right there. That is the wiring. Sophie's brain learned at a very young age that sexuality and love are incompatible. That desire is shameful, that good women, loved women, do not experience pleasure. Her nervous system built a wall between affection and arousal, because in her developmental years, those two things were never allowed to coexist. Here is what happens in the brain when this kind of conditioning occurs. The prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for judgment and social behavior, becomes hyperactive during intimate moments. Instead of being present in her body, Sophie is monitoring herself. Am I doing this right? Does he think I am taking too long? Am I broken? This constant self-surveillance keeps her in her head when she needs to be in her body, and orgasm requires the brain to essentially shut off that monitoring system. It requires surrender. But surrender feels dangerous when you have been taught that being sexual makes you unworthy of love. "But I am not religious anymore," Sophie protests. "I do not believe those things. I want to enjoy sex with Ryan." "Your conscious mind does not believe it," I tell her. "But your nervous system does. Your body does not care what you think you should believe. It only knows what it learned when those neural pathways were being formed. And those pathways are telling your body that if Ryan sees you fully aroused, fully surrendered, fully sexual, he will see you as dirty, unlovable, wrong." The tears are flowing now. That is exactly how it feels. Like if I let go completely, If I let him see me like that, he will realize I am not the person he thinks I am. This is what psychologists call the Madonna-Whore complex, but in reverse. Traditionally, we talk about men who cannot desire women they love, but women experience this too. You have internalized the belief that you can be either loved or desired, but not both. That women who are respected are not sexual, and women who are sexual are not respected. So, when Ryan loves you tenderly, when he treats you with care, your body says, this is not the context for sexual pleasure. This is the context for being good, being appropriate, being worthy of love. Let me explain another piece of this puzzle. Sophie, when you are with Ryan, do you ever feel like you are watching yourself from outside your body? She looks startled. Yes. How did you know? Because that is dissociation. It is what happens when your nervous system perceives a threat but cannot physically escape. Your consciousness separates from your body. It is a survival mechanism that likely started in childhood. Maybe when your mother shamed you, maybe during moments when your body felt something and you were told that feeling was wrong, your brain learned to split off from physical sensation as a way to protect you. And now, during the moments when you most need to be embodied, when you most need to feel, your nervous system does what it was trained to do. It disconnects you. This is not happening because you do not love Ryan. It is happening because you do love him, because love brings vulnerability. And vulnerability activates every defense mechanism your childhood taught you. So what do I do? Sophie asks. How do I fix this? First, you need to understand that this is not something you fix quickly. These neural pathways have been reinforced for decades, but the brain is capable of change. Neuroplasticity means you can build new associations between love and pleasure, between safety and arousal. It is going to require you to do something very difficult. You are going to have to communicate with Ryan about what is happening. I cannot tell him this, she says immediately. He will think there is something wrong with him. Or worse, he will think I am broken. If he loves you the way you say he does, he will want to know. He will want to help you heal. And here is the thing, Sophie. The shame you are carrying about this, that shame is part of the problem. It is another layer of that childhood conditioning. You are ashamed of your body's response, which creates more anxiety, which makes it even harder to relax into pleasure. You have to break that cycle. Over the next few months, Sophie does the work. She talks to Ryan. She explains, through tears and stumbling words, what is happening. And Ryan, to his credit, listens. He does not take it personally. He does not try to fix it. He just holds space for her. They start experimenting with intimacy that has no goal. No expectation of orgasm, no pressure to perform. Just touch, just connection, just presence. Sophie practices staying in her body instead of dissociating. She practices noticing when her mind starts monitoring and gently bringing her attention back to sensation. It is terrifying, she tells me. Every time I feel myself getting close, there is this voice that says stop, that says this is wrong, that says if you let go, something bad will happen. That voice is trying to protect you, I tell her. It is the voice of the little girl who learned that sexual pleasure was dangerous. You have to thank that voice for trying to keep you safe. And then you have to tell it that you are safe now. That Ryan is not going to shame you. That pleasure does not make you unlovable. Slowly, incrementally, something shifts. Sophie starts to feel small moments of connection between her body and her mind. Small moments where she stays present instead of splitting off. Small moments where the pleasure does not trigger the shame. And then one night, after months of patient work, she lets go, completely. And afterward, she cries. Not from sadness, but from relief, from the realization that she can be both loved and desired, that she does not have to choose. If you are watching this and you recognize yourself in Sophie's story, here is what I need you to understand. Your body is not broken. Your sexuality is not wrong. What is happening is that your nervous system is responding to old programming. Programming that told you that love and desire cannot coexist. That being sexual makes you unworthy. That surrender is dangerous. But you can reprogram that, not overnight, not easily, but possible. You can teach your body that intimacy is safe, that pleasure does not equal shame, that the person who loves you can also desire you, and that you can desire them back without losing yourself. This requires vulnerability. It requires communicating with your partner about what is happening. It requires patience with yourself as you unlearn decades of conditioning. It requires staying in your body when every instinct tells you to disconnect. But on the other side of that work is something you might have never experienced before. The integration of love and desire, the ability to be fully seen and fully sexual at the same time. Your body is not the enemy. It is trying to protect you based on the information it was given. Give it new information. Show it that love does not have to mean the death of desire, that safety can coexist with passion, that you do not have to be either the Madonna or the whore. You can be whole. You can be both. You always could. You just needed permission to believe it.